Blast me to Alectia! It's time for the Mad Merlins Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey. Issue 59 and 60. The final battle for Alectia. Part 1. Rules, Gallery, and Armies. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Mad Merlins Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey. So we are on issue 60's battle report, and it is a biggie because we're using 4 mats, and we are using first time with power ratings. Actually, no, sorry, second time with power ratings. This time we're using a power rating though of 50, so we've doubled from the last time, which was only 25. So we've got some new rules to cover. I've got the finished Outriders to show you, and I'm going to go through the 2 armies that I myself have decided to take for this mission. As this video is going out before I film the actual full video for battle report, which will be a separate video, I'm going to give you the question of the video now, and that question is, who do you think will win? So put down Necrons or Imperium in the comments below and let me know who you think is going to win. Of course, we all want it to be Imperium. They're the good guys. But moving on to issue 60, let's have a look at those new rules. So here we have issue 60 with the awesome Grey Knights on the front cover. And here we have the new rules sections that we are covering in this issue. So first off, we have part 1 of the Angels of Death rule, and this covers 4 of the many rules within the combat doctrines for the rules of the Space Marines. So the Angels of Death is a series of abilities that make the Space Marines more effective on the battlefield. The Angels of Death rules have been split into 2 parts for the purposes of Imperium. You'll receive the rules of combat doctrines in part 2 of this article in a future issue. So for the moment, we're learning the basic rules. So Angels of Death. So this gives you all your units with this ability the following special rules: and they shall know no fear, bolt of discipline, shock assault, and combat doctrines. So, and they shall know no fear means each time a combat attrition test is made, you can ignore any and all modifiers to your dice. So that's pretty good, makes them a little bit more durable on the battlefield. Bolt of Discipline is a really good one. It used to be a more specific Imperial Fist one, but it's now become a rather generic one for all Space Marines. As the Holy Bolt Gun is the Space Marines' personal weapon of choice, they have all trained for many millennia to become experts in it. So instead of following the normal rules for rapid-fire weapons, models in this shooting unit with rapid-fire bolt weapons make double the number of attacks if any of these following conditions apply. So if they are half range, either way, the shooting model is infantry and it remains stationary, or the unit is Terminator or bike. And our Outriders are bikes. So these guys are going to be firing double shots all the time with their bolt weapons. And finally we have Shock Assault. So this is showing how good the Space Marines are at close combat. So each time this unit fights, if it made a charge, was charged, or performed heroic intervention this turn, then you add 1 to the attack characteristics of that unit. So everyone gets pretty much +1 attack on the charge or when they are charged. So it's going to turn your assault intercessors and even your non-combaty units into real powerhouses. And over the page we've got a little tutorial here for rules that are covered. So, and they shall know no fear here. So we lost 6 assault intercessors. So we take a morale test. The 6 plus the 4 equals 10. So which is a failed morale test. So our 4 remaining intercessors must take combat attrition tests. So as we're below half strength, we would take a -1, but because of that, we ignore it and we only fail on a 1. And Bolt of Discipline here. So it covers a few units. So we got our future unit here, the incursors, or infiltrators, whichever they are. I keep forgetting. Hang on, have a look at the back. Oh, it doesn't show yet. Infiltrators. So yeah, the infiltrators here are within half range. So regardless of whether they've moved or stood still, they get double shots. If they haven't moved, they can get double shots at a maximum range. So not just 12, but at 24. And if you're a biker, you get double shots either way, regardless. It'd be nice if we had some Terminators later on in the collection, because we have those Mystery 10 issues, which I will be doing a video later on in the week. My second Merlin Mumbles. I'm going to be covering quite a few things, so I'll be covering the future Imperium issues, my thoughts on those, the new character pack that got revealed, and the new releases that Games Workshop have just put out. I will have a few theories about how that's going to play out, so stay tuned for that video, but let's continue. Speaking of the Outriders, here is their datasheet. So we have 2 Outriders and an Outrider Sergeant. They each have heavy bolt pistol, Starty's chainsword, frag and crack grenades, and their bikes have twin bolt rifles. So with the twin bolt rifle, they're rapid fire 2, and because they're bikers, with the Angel of Death rule, that becomes 4 shots at any range. So we've got the chainsword there, so pretty good. An extra attack, so turns Outrider Sergeant into 5 attacks with the Angel of Death rules, and their basic Outriders into 4 attacks. They also have Devastating Charge special rules, so each time this unit fights, if it made a charge move this turn, then until the fight is resolved, add 2 to the attacks, and there's a tutorial on the back which we'll get to in a sec. And they have Turbo Boost, so instead of rolling for advanced rolls, they automatically add 6 to their movement. So, here we have our tutorials. So, Devastating Charge gives them an extra 2 attacks, but this stacks with the extra 1 that you do get from the Shock Assault rule. So, here we have our units. So, normally 2 and 3 attacks. With Chainsword, they get +1. With Shock Assault, they get +1. With Devastating Charge, they get +2. But just remember, Devastating Charge is only when you charge, not when you are charged. Shock Assault is either or. So in total, you'll get your Outriders with 6 attacks and your Sergeant with 7. That is pretty nasty. And with their movement 14, they are a real threat on the battlefield. So here we have the tutorial for Turbo Boost. So instead of rolling your d6, you just add 6 inches to your total move. So move 14 becomes move 20. And of course, this does count the unit as having advanced. So you won't be able to shoot or declare charges. So in this tutorial, though, they are hoping to get to the objective and score points. So they're not really too bothered about charging or even shooting at the scarabs. So that's all our tutorials, and here we have our battle. So the assaulting the Basilica. So our Overlord is the commander for the Necrons, and the Canoness there is the leader of the Imperial Forces. So we have some specific selections we must take. So the Necrons must have the Overlord and 2 troop choices. And then you have any amount of units up to 50 power. So that does include, 50 power does include the 2 Overlord and 2 troops. And the Imperium player must include the Canoness, 10 Battle Sisters, 5 Seraphim, and 1 other troop unit. So next we have our deployment. So creating the battlefield, you lay out your 4 mats, placing 4 Factorum ruins in the center there. So this is the terrain feature that serves as both an objective for the mission. Your Canoness and the Battle Sisters must get deployed here when you deploy your forces. And then both sides must then divide the remaining halves of their forces between the 2 deployment zones, which is a 12-inch corner for each side. We've got 12 inches square in the center there. The only thing it doesn't mention any other terrain, so I'm guessing the only terrain we do use is this, which is kind of... but it does play into the narrative. They are holding out the one remaining defensive position. So it's like all forces are converging. So I will play it as that, because it doesn't mention anywhere to add any extra terrain. So it'll just be the massive remaining bastion in the center there, where the sisters are trying to collect all the relics that have been stored there over the years and get them safely off planet. So that's it for the magazine. Here's a nice picture again of the next 20 issues. So 61 to 80. We've got a good amount of stuff yet to come. We've got the command barge there, the Praetorians / Lich Guard, the Heavy Destroyer, and the Immortals and Deathmarks there. I already got a squad of Deathmarks, so I might be building those as Mortals or Teslas. We've also got one final piece of terrain, which is the last Heliotrope reactor. We've got all our infiltrators, eliminators, suppressors, and the Phobos Lieutenant. We've got Calgon and Victrix Guard, the Firestrike Turret, Guilliman himself, and the Outrider ATV. So yeah, good stuff to come. So moving on then, it's time to look at the finished Outriders. And here we have our finished Outriders squad. So as you can see, I've done a little bit of conversion here and there. I've also mounted the bikes on the riders on their correct bikes. I had these two the wrong way around, but they still fit on either one nicely. I've painted these up to battle ready using my standard ultramarine method. And I've applied some snow over my standard earth granite base. And I've given the models a nice varnish with some storm shield, and the base's rims have been painted with hard coat to stop the models slipping all over the place, and also to give a little bit more durability for that paint during gameplay. So yeah, there we have our Outriders, and they look really nice. Can't wait to see how these do in this mega battle. So, without further ado, let's show you the two armies that I'm going to be taking for this mega battle. Here we have my Imperial Force. So, we have our 10 sisters, the 5 Seraphim, and the Canoness there, who we must take in this battle. I have the 10-man Assault Intercessor squad here as my additional troops. Plus, I also have my Cataphrone Destroyers there as a third troops choice. We've got a squad of Aggressors there for some heavy support. And we have, of course, the Outriders. For the other HQ choices in the list, I've took the Primaris Captain and Lieutenant. And I've took the Tech Priest Engines here to help back up those Cataphrone Destroyers. The main idea for my force is to try and get as many people as far forward as possible to help hold that Basilica, whilst the Cataphrones, Aggressors, and the Outriders deliver some heavy firepower from as far away as possible. Of course, the Aggressors are, of course, a up-close and personal type unit, so they will need to be getting towards the front lines very quickly. I will probably maybe put them in strategic reserve. Haven't decided quite yet. The Outriders, though, with their pretty snippy movement, they're definitely going to be deployed straight away, so they can move as far forward as possible to the Battle Sisters' aid. The Seraphim, they don't have to be deployed, but I might deploy them straight away just so I've got bodies on the ground. I might do the aggressors and the Cataphons and the engine seer as strategic reserves, as they are pretty slow. And I need to get them into the right position to fire on those Necron phalanxes that are coming at me. So yeah, my strategy for the Ultramarines and the Imperial Forces is to get as many people to that front line and hold that Basilica for as long as possible, because the victory conditions is the amount of models within that Basilica at the end of turn 5. So we've got to last quite a while, which is why I'm thinking a few units of Strategic Reserve might help us survive a little bit longer, providing we're not totally wiped out before they come on. So definitely looking at a turn 2, maybe if I can hold them off to turn 3, we'll just have to see how we go. Right, now let's take a look at my Necrons. So here we have my Necron Force, and I've gone for a rather infantry heavy focused force. So we must take the Overlord, and he is there at the front as my Warlord. My two troops are the 10 man as one 20-man squad of Necron warriors, and my 5 Immortals there. I have backing up the warriors. I have the Technomancer, Chronomancer, and the Reanimator. I also have some speedy units in the form of the Wraiths and the Tombblades there. And for a little bit of a deep striking, I've got my Flayed Ones there. Because I had a couple of power left over, I've took the Crypto Thralls, who are going to be bodyguarding my Chronomancer, as I feel he's the more integral member of the Royal Court here. So, my plan for the Necron side is to advance up the battlefield as fast as possible. I must split my force between the two deployment zones as much as I can, so I'm going to be focusing my Death Star unit, which is the 20 warriors, Chronomancer, Technomancer, and the Reanimator, plus the Crypto Thralls. They're going to be keeping these guys alive, bringing them back when they die, and the Overlord is going to have to go on the opposite side of the battlefield with the Immortals as his bodyguard, the Tombblades, and the Wraiths backing him up. Flayed Ones, I'm going to hope to drop in and do some damage straight away in the objective area by transdimensional location, bringing them in and hopefully chopping up some of the sisters before the Space Marines can get to them. But that's pretty much it. I'm hoping that I win through sheer numbers and durability of my two key units. Of course, though, the Space Marine player is probably going to want to try and eliminate those. So I'm definitely going to have to put some extra protection onto them. But that is it. So that's the armies I'm taking for mission issue 60 of Imperium. And this is the final battle of Alectia, and soon we move to Kalma's Skull. So let me know in the comment section, of course, who do you think is going to win? Will it be the Necrons or will it be the Imperium? Also, don't forget, if you haven't already, give this video a like. My tongue stops working. It goes quite the way to help the channel out. And also don't forget to subscribe if you want to keep up to date with more mad content. So, with that said, I will see you for the battle report. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hello everyone, Merlin from the future here. I just thought, as I'm going to be doing a rather lengthy video next, I thought I'd give you a look into our future at the end of the introduction video. So here we have our next two Imperiums. So issue 61 brings us our third and final Tombblade. We learn about upgrading characters, focusing on the Battle Sisters and the Cryptex, and we start our final mission pack, the Veteran Mission Pack. Issue 62 is our paint issue, and we get Calgar Blue and Evil Sun Scarlet, perfect for highlighting our Ultramarines, and we also learn about highlighting some of our Adeptus Mechanicus units at long last. So edge highlighting is going to be pretty prominent. We're going to be highlighting a lot of blue armor. We also learn all about the Crimson Fists, the absolute best chapter in the entire galaxy. And we have a brand new discipline for our librarian to learn with new psychic powers. So there we have it. I will see you in the mega battle. Goodbye.